This is the part about freelancing and being a solopreneur that nobody really talks about. When you're working more hours and making less. I remember a time in my career when I was working more hours than ever before and making less than ever before. So on today's weekly tip, I want to share with you how ClickUp is the solution to this very real problem. So let's waste no time and dive right in. Okay, first let's start with why this happens. Now there's something called scope creep. And scope, if you're not familiar with it, is just essentially a way of outlining what it is that you're doing for your client, what specific tasks you're doing, how many hours you're working for them. And some clients are just needier than others, right? They ask more questions, they make more requests, they have more revisions. And then sometimes we just price packages incorrectly based on how much time it's actually going to take us to do what we need to do. In either case, the client's not paying you the full amount of the time that you're working. You're working more than you're getting paid. And when this happens with multiple clients, it can feel like a whirlwind really, really quickly. Okay, so now that we know why this is happening, let's talk about what you can do in ClickUp and how it makes it super easy. And it all starts with time tracking. Not that exciting, I know. And I was fairly resistant to time tracking in the beginning as well, but time tracking is an essential part of growing a business, especially in a business where you're selling time for money. Before ClickUp, I was using a free tool like Toggle and just simply tracking time against a client and billing them that way, billing them per hour. Another time I was using Teamwork and just exporting the task or the hour logs and using that to bill my clients. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with this. It 100% can work because you get paid in the end. But here's what it would be like to have access to a real-time scope tracking dashboard. This is essentially just a place where you can come every single day or every couple days, whatever frequency makes sense for you, that you can check in on each account in real time, right? And the idea is to really monitor what they're paying you against what is actually happening. And you'll start to notice very quickly some trends start to emerge. Certain clients are outliers that they're consistently getting more than they pay for. And so it's logical then that these clients should just have to pay more. You should just ask them for more money. But how do you approach that subject? You know, sometimes talking about money feels a little awkward and we can just want to avoid it altogether. And it kind of comes back to having that well-structured time tracking because it gives us breakdowns that we can use to show us what our next step should be. It can give us clarity as to why we're seeing these overages with particular clients. Because it's clear where your scope is going, right? It's not just that we're spending too much time on a client, it's that we know exactly where that time is being spent. And I remember my first and only really big social media client was an administrative disaster. We had this monstrous spreadsheet with so many different columns. We had all these different people contributing to it, and we were spending so much time just trying to manage this process. And that was the first real process or workflow that I built in ClickUp when I kind of was like, wow, this is powerful. I was able to take this painful collaboration process and turn it into a seamless experience for everybody. Now, I'm going to take a second to do a shameless plug because this is my favorite client review. The reason it's my favorite is because it feels like I went in their brain and I put this in there so that, I decided this is exactly how I wanted them to feel when I thought about making this workflow. And it says, if I had to describe the experience of working together in a few words, they would be creative, organized, and easy. Holy. If you could think of 3 things that a client would say it felt like working with you, wouldn't those be them? Creative, organized, and easy. Oh my goodness. Step 1, if you are working more than ever and making less than ever, is to be diligent about time tracking and use lists in ClickUp to break down your time that's being tracked and look for opportunities to build workflows into ClickUp that make the client happy and also save you time. So that's step 1. Now, if you've already done that, say you've already built these amazing workflows in ClickUp and you're still going over scope, then we're looking at a different conversation. It's a conversation around a package change. And so here's a quick tip to consider. I personally like to make retainer contracts short, especially at the very beginning, 6 months. I like that because it gives a routine opportunity to talk about the contract. There's no trying to come up with a reason to talk to your client about increasing how much money they spend with you, right? Because again, coming back to the feeling that talking about money can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Having those routine checkpoints can be really helpful to overcome that. But coming back to our list breakdowns. So let's say you're already using that super sweet workflow and you're still seeing that your content creation is taking longer than you originally agreed upon with the client. Then you've got tangible data of the level of effort that's required to maintain that work. So it's less of just like, hey, client, I need more money, and more of the level of effort that's required to deliver on the number of posts and the quality of work has exceeded our current package. We can either reduce the number of posts by X, option 1, or increase our scope by Y. Now, how much different is that to approach the conversation in that manner, right? It gives you data. Data makes you feel confident, and confidence helps you approach clients with a different energy. It's a bit of a different style of video this week. I really hope that you liked it. If you're sold on the idea of ClickUp, take a second before jumping in. Just wait. Don't just jump right into the tool. I want to help you ensure that you're going to set it up right from the beginning, so that you're not wasting any time and that you get to really start to benefit from these amazing features that it has. That's why I'm writing the beginner's guide to ClickUp for freelancers, how to free yourself from the burden of client management. If you're interested in that, if you sign up for my mailing list to find out when it drops, be one of the first 10 people who sign up and you'll get a free copy. I can't wait to share with you, but until then, see you next week.